Hello, this is Jamie of the Druid Diaries. I hope this will be a quick word on diets for Druids. Online, I find the discussion over meat eating versus veganism a bit disturbing. I have been a vegan, I've been a vegetarian, I have been sustained with wild meat, and I am currently a meat eater. I have become a very, very intense meat eater due to a diagnosis from my doctor that I've entered the red zone for type 2 diabetes. And if I don't change my diet, that's where I'm going. I looked at the diabetic diet, and I knew right in my gut right away that that wasn't going to do the trick for me. So after a lot of research, I came across the keto diet, and that is the plan for me. That is my major lifestyle change, and I'm likely to be in that mode for the rest of my life because I have developed this creeping insulin resistance. And I had my memory jogged by this experience of a dream I had in my youth where I was a cheetah in the dream. It was great. I was galloping along there, just flying. It was beautiful. I was loving my speed, my gait, my ability to just barely touch the ground. It was joyful. But I became hungry in the dream. I had a deep, abiding hunger, and I didn't want to kill. And I thought, okay, well, I have to eat. So I made my kill as quick and clean as I could, and I feasted. That was my food. I wanted and needed to stay alive, as all life on this planet does, including you and I. So I felt really a great deal of empathy for the creature that I killed, because no one usually wants to die. There has to be something really wrong for any living creature to be ready to go. So their needs are not being met. There's a lot of pain. Could be many different things. A lack of food availability, who knows. But generally speaking, it's a sign of good health that we want to live, or at least a healthy consciousness. So I'm going through this, and another cheetah comes along, a beautiful male cheetah. And we go galloping away and running and racing, and it was beautiful. And I had some kind of confirmation of life, and that my life was worthy, and that my life was also beautiful, despite my angst about killing for food. So over my lifetime, I carried this dream with me, and I would think of it from time to time. I became a vegetarian because of my deep empathy for other living creatures, and I became a vegan because I recognized that fish have feelings and they suffer in these nets, and trawling is dreadful, and there's all kinds of horrendous things practiced now in our time that are not good for the environment, and in the long run they aren't good for us either. They're certainly not pleasant for those who suffer their practice. So I also recognized, the life of a chicken. It's not great. It's not good. And then I came to the conclusion, okay, better to live free and fall to a good hunter, not a reckless, foolish hunter who doesn't care about the animal. But hunting like in the ancient times, like, that might be shamanic. Is this animal willing to come forth and feed my family? There might be ritual attached to that, and giving offerings after a kill. Letting an animal that is in a state of fading away into death die peacefully, even though you have hunted it. I've seen this, and I've seen this kind of approach used, and it's definitely preferable. And I thought, well, that is so much better than, these poor beasts that are being raised for meat, and ending up in a feedlot. Better to do this and be careful who, what animal you kill, Is it the mother of a fawn? Is that fawn going to die because you took that deer? All of these things take some knowledge and courage to do properly. So I went through all this, and then being faced with type 2 diabetes and returning to meat eating has been a really huge impact on my life journey. And spiritually, it's a closure for me. It's closing a circle. It has deepened my understanding of self, enriched my acceptance of self, acceptance of my own biology. Obviously, not every human being needs this keto lifestyle or paleo lifestyle diet. Not everyone is going to fall to insulin resistance, but a lot of people do appear to need to eat this way. So regardless of whether you're eating meat, fish, poultry, plants, my thought is that we certainly need to strengthen this common ground in Druidry rather than fighting over it, to acknowledge and research, to understand, to be educated that, I'll give an example, a prairie grassland is valuable to the environment. It's valuable to us for many, many reasons. It's representative of good health. It's a fantastic carbon sink, which we desperately really need right now. It's a more natural, far better life for grazing animals that we may consume to sustain ourselves. I would far rather have a buffalo or some lovely cow living out on the range, living the life, end up on my plate than some poor creature that has suffered greatly in order to feed me. I don't like that. So we might look at fish. Overfishing, bad. Ruining the environment in the act of fishing, bad. Polluting the water, those fish that sustain us, bad at many levels. Really stupid idea. How do we reduce that suffering? Fish farms, bad. And there may not be a lot of ways around that, except to say, maybe we should reduce the amount of fishing we do. Maybe we should focus on growing hemp to get more of our omega-3s. Hemp, excellent carbon sink, versatile plant. Hemp is not marijuana, okay? It doesn't have enough of the substance that creates that effect that marijuana is known for in it. To really do anything, you'd have to smoke the entire field all at once in order to get that effect. So drop the fear of hemp. It's a very useful, important plant, and it's going to be very important to our future as human beings. So, we might have to also look at alternatives. I'm not saying don't eat a fish, but be aware, just like being aware for that cow and what it might have to go through to get to your plate. Be aware and lobby for the good guys. Lobby for the things that are going to be holistically meaningful, healthier for all, better for the planet, healthier for you, and very importantly, better for that other creature that's ending up on your plate. Now let's go to the vegans. I was a vegan because I have so much empathy for my fellow beings. Well, there's a little story that went around my school, and it was a true story when I was in elementary school, that one of the teachers, that was in elementary school, that was junior high. The science teacher, one of them, first day of class, he would take out a carrot and he would cut that carrot and he would scream. And he would then proceed to tell the class that there's no proof that carrot doesn't actually feel pain. And we do know today the plants are really busy, and they do communicate to one another. You can be walking through the forest. The other side of the forest is going to know you're coming. Okay, so they do have sensation, and we should be respectful of that. If I have to cut up a root vegetable, I cut the top off really fast, and I don't necessarily cut it when it's sitting beside the ones that I'm still have to cut. That may seem really ridiculously overboard, but I've been like this all my life. So I respect that, I'm taking a life when I cut the top off that carrot. I'm not currently eating carrots because I'm on keto, but it's the point I'm trying to make is that, most life has sensation and it wants to live. So we should be respectful of that and handle it in a really good way as best we can. So you are hearing my cat, Parmesan, or I'm his human, both are true, meowing. He was stolen this summer for a while and gifted to a stranger who kept him indoors. And he had been to the vet in the middle of the summer for something else. And so his health was well documented. He had no pre-existing conditions. And he's an older cat. And she had some procedures done to him, this woman, and he's come back with a heart condition and a thyroid condition, and he can't go outside, so he's quite distressed, and I'm feeling really bad about this. And that has also been a journey similar to meat eating and veganism, whether a cat should be outside or inside. And I take a similar approach to this in that I think quality of life is really important. It's really important to respect your neighbors and to respect your cat family member as an independent being. I don't look at cats as being domestic, and I'm not really keen on that word domestic used with any animal and or with humans. It has some interesting connotations I'm not completely at peace with. So this cat came to us, and he's been with us for 13 years, willingly. He's had lots of opportunity to stay away, but he was stolen this summer. And I'm really having a struggle with the heart condition and the thyroid. So we're on a journey, and it's been kind of tough. So we're trying to keep him entertained, and he's on the bone broth, and I'm starting to feed him raw meat. But we don't know who this person is that initially stole him, so I cannot let him outside for that reason, and I cannot let him outside right now because of the heart condition. And ironically, the situation of keeping him inside is causing stress on him, so that's not good for his heart condition either. So it's kind of sad, but he's a beautiful little boy, and hopefully something will work out, so that we can help him be more content and happy and healthy. Regardless, I think the point I'm making here is respecting all the different life on this planet, respecting the fact that life lives off of death, whether it's the soil or whether it's you eating a steak or you eating a pumpkin, which is actually delicious, by the way. So how can we all then improve things? Well, money is dear for a lot of us, and we can't always afford or even access something like ethically raised, humanely raised pork product or organic or permaculture grown butternut squash. It's not easy, and no one expects you as a Druid or a student of Druidry to spend all your money on that. You have to be smart and be able to pay your bills and live your life and just do the best you can. And so my doing this video is also a way to promote conscious living. I can't do this 100%. And I would like to be able to do that. And in order for that to happen, I either have to make a lot more money or society needs to change. And I think the latter is the more important one, because it's the one that's going to help more people change the way they sustain themselves in a good way, and they will be healthier for it. I think that's something that people in Druidry, people who practice Druidism, people who are Druids, students of Druidry, that's something you can do. It's something I do. It's not that hard. Learning is awesome. Keep informed. Do the best you can. Okay? Be kind to each other as best you can. Nobody's saying it's supposed to be easy. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.